Forget oatmeal. Let's look at why this matters even more deeply. Because sarcopenia, the gradual loss of muscle mass with age, isn't just about losing strength, it's about losing your future. I've seen patients who told me they felt fine in their early 60s, only to notice that by 70, they were walking slower. By 75, they were struggling to carry groceries, and by 80, they were dependent on others for the most basic activities. Muscle loss is a silent thief. It doesn't cause pain, so you don't notice it. It doesn't show up on blood tests you take at your annual checkup. But it shows itself in the small changes, when you stop taking the stairs because you feel too winded, when you avoid going on walks because you don't feel steady, when you sit down to rest a little more often because your legs tire quickly. And here's what most people don't realize. Every year after 60, if you don't take action, you lose about 1% of your muscle mass. That may not sound like much, but over a decade, it's 10%. Over 2 decades, it's 20%. That's the difference between standing tall and needing help to get out of a chair. And here's why breakfast is so important. Overnight, while you sleep, your body is fasting. Your muscles are in a kind of energy debt. They're waiting for nutrition to either rebuild or continue wasting away. The first meal you give them in the morning sets the tone for the entire day. If you feed them mostly sugar and starch, like oatmeal, toast, or cereal, you've given them no tools to repair themselves. But if you feed them protein, rich, high-quality protein, you're handing them the exact building blocks they need to stay alive. Now, some people might say, "But Dr. Lee, I eat protein at lunch and dinner. Isn't that enough?" The answer is no, not if you be over 60. Studies show that older adults need protein spaced out evenly throughout the day for it to be effective. Waiting until dinner to load up on protein means your muscles go half a day starving. They never get that strong morning signal to grow. A remarkable study published in the Journal of Nutrition, Health and Aging found that seniors who ate protein at breakfast had greater muscle mass and function compared to those who ate it later in the day. It is not just about the total amount of protein you eat, it is about when you eat it. Timing matters. Morning is when your muscles are most primed to receive and use it. And let's talk about why eggs are uniquely powerful. Eggs are not just a source of protein, they are a complete package. Think about it. An egg is designed to build an entire living being from scratch. Inside the shell are all the nutrients necessary for growth: protein, fat, vitamins, minerals, antioxidants. When you eat an egg, you're eating nature's perfect growth capsule. Eggs are especially rich in leucine, that key amino acid I mentioned earlier. Leucine is like the ignition switch on your muscle engine. Without it, the engine won't start. Oatmeal doesn't have much leucine. Eggs have plenty. And here's the best part. It doesn't take a lot. 2 or 3 eggs give you enough leucine to flip on muscle protein synthesis and keep your muscles working. Now, I can hear some of you thinking, "But I've been told my whole life that eggs raise cholesterol. I'm worried about my heart." That's an important question. For decades, nutrition guidelines advised limiting eggs because of cholesterol. But the latest science has shown that dietary cholesterol doesn't affect blood cholesterol nearly as much as we thought. In fact, the Harvard School of Public Health and many other institutions have found that for the vast majority of people, eating up to an egg a day or even more does not increase heart disease risk. What really raises your cholesterol is not eggs, but processed foods, added sugars, and trans fats. In fact, eggs contain something that oatmeal doesn't: high-quality fats that support hormone production. Hormones like testosterone and estrogen are critical for muscle preservation, even in seniors. And as you age, your natural hormone levels decline. The nutrients in eggs help support your body in maintaining balance. Now, does this mean oatmeal is bad? Not necessarily. Oatmeal has fiber, and fiber helps lower cholesterol and feed healthy gut bacteria. But fiber alone won't stop muscle loss. So instead of making oatmeal the main event, make it the side dish. If you love oats, have a few spoonfuls with nuts and seeds alongside your eggs. That way you're getting the best of both worlds: fiber for your gut, protein for your muscles. Let me share a story with you. A patient of mine, a 72-year-old woman named Margaret, came to me complaining of weakness and fatigue. She said she was eating healthy every morning, a big bowl of oatmeal with fruit. But when we tested her muscle strength, She was in the early stages of sarcopenia. I asked her to do one simple change: swap out her oatmeal for 2 eggs with spinach and a slice of whole grain toast. Within 3 months, she reported feeling stronger, her energy improved, and she could carry her groceries up the stairs without stopping. The difference was night and day, not because she was exercising more, but because she was feeding her muscles the nutrition they had been starved for. This is the reality. Muscle is your currency of independence. The stronger your muscles, the longer you live independently. And protein is the currency your muscles trade in. Without it, your body goes bankrupt. But here's something even more fascinating. New research shows that protein isn't just about muscles, it has ripple effects across your entire body. Protein at breakfast stabilizes blood sugar, which reduces cravings later in the day. It improves mental focus by providing amino acids that fuel neurotransmitters in the brain. And it even improves sleep quality by supporting the production of melatonin and serotonin. So when you choose eggs in the morning, you're not just protecting your muscles, you're protecting your brain, your mood, your energy, and even your sleep. And now what about those of you who don't like eggs, or maybe can't eat them? You still have options. Greek yogurt is another excellent breakfast protein, with about 15 grams of protein per serving. Cottage cheese is also high in protein and rich in leucine. For plant-based eaters, tofu scramble is a powerful alternative, with plenty of protein and the same amino acid muscle-activating effect. The point is not that eggs are the only way, but that protein must take center stage in your breakfast if you want to fight sarcopenia. So tomorrow morning, when you stand in front of your kitchen counter deciding what to eat, ask yourself this: am I feeding my muscles, or am I starving them? Am I setting myself up for strength and independence, or am I letting weakness creep in silently? That choice is in your hands every single morning. Oatmeal might comfort you, but it won't build you. Eggs and other protein-rich foods will. And the difference, over the course of years, could be the difference between walking strong at 80 or depending on others to carry you. Now let's return to this problem of breakfast and muscle decline. For decades, the classic image of a healthy breakfast has been a bowl of steaming oatmeal, perhaps with a sprinkling of fruit, maybe a touch of honey. And yes, oatmeal is heart-healthy, it supports digestion, and it keeps cholesterol under control. But here's the issue: when it comes to muscle loss, oatmeal alone doesn't cut it. It's almost entirely carbohydrates with very little high-quality protein. And if you're over 60, every single meal you eat is an opportunity to rebuild muscle, or lose it. Think about that for a moment. If you start your morning with only carbs, you're essentially telling your muscles to wait, to sit idle. You're giving them calories, but not the raw building blocks they need to stay strong. By the time lunch arrives, you've already wasted precious hours when your body is most ready to absorb and use protein for muscle repair. Scientists call this concept the anabolic window. The first meal of the day is incredibly powerful in signaling your body whether it should build or whether it should break down. And seniors who ignore protein at breakfast unknowingly accelerate muscle loss, which we call sarcopenia. But the good news is that it's not too late to change. You can take advantage of something researchers are discovering, that a protein-rich breakfast acts like a daily medicine for your muscles. When you give your body 20 to 30 grams of high-quality protein first thing in the morning, you kickstart muscle protein synthesis. That's the scientific way of saying your muscles wake up. They start repairing, they start growing stronger, even without a workout. And the food you choose in the morning can decide whether you re-walking strong in your 70s and 80s, or shuffling with a cane. So what is this breakfast? What is the food that outshines oatmeal when it comes to building muscle after 60? Imagine a meal that delivers more protein than a bowl of oats could ever dream of, one that nourishes your muscles, stabilizes your blood sugar, calms inflammation, and keeps you full so you're not reaching for snacks by mid-morning. This is a breakfast based around eggs, Greek yogurt, cottage cheese, and even a surprising plant-based superstar: lentils. Yes, lentils for breakfast. Cultures around the world already eat legumes in the morning, and science is catching up to why it works. Let's pause here, because I know what some of you might be thinking. I've been eating oatmeal every day for decades, and I feel fine. But here's the truth. Sarcopenia doesn't show up overnight. It creeps up silently. You don't notice when your muscles shrink by 1% a year, but 10 years later that's a 10% loss. And by the time you do notice, when you can't lift groceries as easily, when you get up from a chair more slowly, it's already taken a toll. That's why the shift needs to start now. That's why breakfast is so critical, because you're either feeding your muscles or starving them every single morning. When you replace oatmeal with protein-rich breakfasts, something amazing happens. Studies show that seniors who front-load their protein, meaning they get the bulk of it early in the day, retain significantly more lean muscle mass than those who eat it later. Their walking speed improves. Their balance improves. Even their recovery from illness or injury improves, because their bodies are primed with the raw material needed for healing. In other words, your breakfast can decide whether you're fragile or strong. And there's more. Protein-rich breakfasts don't just feed the muscles in your arms and legs. They protect your heart, your metabolism, and even your brain. When you eat high-protein foods in the morning, you stabilize your blood sugar throughout the day, which reduces stress on your pancreas. You keep insulin levels more controlled, which lowers your risk of type 2 diabetes. And you feed your brain amino acids that are the precursors for neurotransmitters, helping you stay sharp, alert, and in a better mood. Imagine starting your morning not just with fuel but with actual building blocks for your body and mind. This is why I say, forget oatmeal. Not because it's bad, but because it's incomplete. You deserve more than incomplete. You deserve a breakfast that builds you up, not one that quietly allows your muscles to waste away. You deserve food that works as hard as you do. Food that protects you from the hidden thief of strength that is sarcopenia. And tomorrow morning, you can begin that transformation simply by changing what's on your plate. When we talk about breakfast that protects your muscles, let's start with one of the oldest, simplest, and yet most misunderstood foods, the egg. For years, people feared eggs because of cholesterol. Doctors warned patients to stay away. But science has evolved, and what we know today is that eggs are one of the most complete and powerful foods for preserving muscle. Each egg contains about 6 grams of high-quality protein, packed with all the essential amino acids your muscles need. That phrase, essential amino acids, is important. It means your body cannot make them on its own. You must get them from food, and eggs deliver them in the perfect ratio for human muscle growth. Now imagine starting your morning with 2 eggs, that's 12 grams of protein. Add a third and you're already at 18. Combine them with just a spoonful of cottage cheese or a side of Greek yogurt, and you cross that critical 20 to 30 gram threshold that flips the switch on muscle protein synthesis. This is the point at which your body shifts from breaking down to building up. That's the secret hidden inside the humble egg. It's not just breakfast. It's a signal to your muscles that today they will not waste away. Today, they will grow stronger. But it doesn't stop there. Think about Greek yogurt. This is not the sugary, fruit-flavored yogurt with more dessert than nutrition. I mean plain, unsweetened Greek yogurt. A single cup contains around 20 grams of protein, almost as much as a full serving of chicken breast. And inside that creamy texture is casein protein, which digests slowly and provides a steady stream of amino acids to your muscles. That means you're not just nourishing them at 8 a.m., you're still nourishing them at noon. And for seniors, that sustained release is critical because your body becomes less efficient at processing protein with age. You need more, and you need it consistently. Now let's talk about cottage cheese. This is another old-fashioned food that's making a comeback. Like Greek yogurt, cottage cheese is rich in casein, but it also contains natural compounds like calcium and vitamin B12, both of which support muscle function. And here's something fascinating. Studies show that older adults who eat cottage cheese before bed not only sleep better, but also reduce overnight muscle breakdown. That's right. While you rest, your body continues to protect and rebuild muscle simply because you fed it the right fuel. Imagine combining cottage cheese at night with eggs or Greek yogurt in the morning. That's a 24-hour cycle of muscle protection. But what about those who don't tolerate dairy or prefer plant-based options? This is where a surprising hero enters the story: lentils. For centuries, cultures in India, the Middle East, and Africa have eaten lentils for breakfast. And science is now proving why. Lentils are loaded with plant protein, fiber, iron, and magnesium. A single cup of cooked lentils gives you about 18 grams of protein, nearly the same as eggs or yogurt. But here's the beauty. They also deliver complex carbohydrates that fuel your energy, while the protein builds your strength. This dual action makes lentils one of the most powerful anti-sarcopenia foods you can eat. Think about a breakfast of lentil pancakes, which are common in Indian households, or a warm bowl of savory lentil soup with a poached egg on top. That's not just delicious, it's medicine for your muscles. It's a recipe for walking tall at age 70, for getting up from a chair without help at age 80, for carrying your grandchild without fear at age 90. This is food as protection, as prevention, as restoration. Now, let's pause and connect the dots. What do these breakfasts, eggs, Greek yogurt, cottage cheese, lentils, have in common? They all deliver concentrated, high-quality protein that your body can use immediately to fight sarcopenia. They don't just fill your stomach. They fuel your muscles, stabilize your blood sugar, and keep your heart safe. Contrast that with a bowl of oatmeal, which digests quickly, spikes your blood sugar, and leaves you hungry within hours. Oatmeal may comfort you, but it doesn't protect you. And at this stage of life, comfort is not enough. You need protection. This is why I tell patients, your breakfast is your shield. Every morning, you have a choice. Do you pick up a shield that defends your muscles, or do you walk into battle unarmed, hoping the enemy won't notice? Because sarcopenia notices. It advances whether you pay attention or not. But the good news is you can stop it. You can even reverse it. And the weapon is sitting right on your plate. The remarkable part is how quickly the benefits appear. Studies show that within just 12 weeks of eating protein-rich breakfasts, seniors gain measurable improvements in leg strength, grip strength, and walking speed. Their posture improves. Their confidence improves. They move through the world not with fear of falling, but with a sense of power. And that's not just physical, that's emotional, that's psychological. Because strength is more than muscle, it's freedom. Now let me take you deeper into the science. The muscle you lose after 60 is not just about vanity or appearance. It's directly tied to your metabolism, your circulation, and even your risk of disease. Muscle tissue is what burns calories, even at rest. The less muscle you have, the slower your metabolism. The slower your metabolism, the more fat you store, the more insulin resistance develops, and the greater your risk of diabetes, heart disease, and high blood pressure. In fact, sarcopenia is one of the hidden drivers of metabolic syndrome, the dangerous cluster of conditions that includes obesity, hypertension, and high blood sugar. So when you eat a protein-rich breakfast, you're not just saving your muscles, you're protecting your heart. You're stabilizing your blood pressure, you're lowering your risk of stroke, and yes, you're even extending your lifespan. Because the number one predictor of longevity is not cholesterol or blood sugar. It's mobility. The ability to walk independently, and mobility is built on muscle. And let's not forget one more truth. Aging is not a disease, but muscle loss, sarcopenia, is. And just because it is common does not mean it is normal. Muscles are the currency of longevity. They are what protect you from falls, what stabilize your blood sugar, what pump blood through your veins, and what keep your brain alert and awake. They are not just for strength, they are for survival. And yet, every single morning, millions of older adults are unintentionally choosing foods that rob them of muscle. When you sit down to your breakfast, you are making one of the most important decisions of the day. You are either fueling your body to rebuild muscle, or you are fueling it to lose more of it. Oatmeal, toast, cereal, muffins, these are familiar, yes, but they are not allies in the fight against muscle loss. They give you sugar, a quick rise in energy, and then they leave you drained. That mid-morning crash you feel, that fatigue in your legs, that sluggishness in your steps. It's not age alone, it's poor fuel. It's poor. So what should you eat instead? What is the breakfast that fights sarcopenia, strengthens your muscles, and turns back the clock? It is a meal centered around high-quality protein and collagen-rich foods. Think of starting your day with Greek yogurt topped with chia seeds and walnuts. Think of 2 boiled eggs alongside smoked salmon and avocado slices. Think of a warm cup of bone broth soup with lentils on the side. These are foods that flood your body with amino acids, the very building blocks of muscle repair. Imagine how differently your body would respond. Instead of dragging through the day, you feel light, energized, and strong. Instead of struggling to climb stairs, you notice your legs carrying you with confidence. Instead of shrinking and weakening, your muscles respond with resilience. That's the miracle of the right breakfast. It turns back what many think is inevitable decline. And there's more. These muscle-building breakfasts don't just stop sarcopenia. They protect your bones, shield your joints, stabilize your blood sugar, and even lower your risk of falls and fractures. When your muscles are strong, your balance improves. Your posture straightens. Your blood pressure becomes steadier because your muscles act like pumps, helping your heart move blood. That one change, the food you put in your mouth when you wake up, sets off a cascade of healing. Now here's the powerful part. You don't have to wait weeks or months to see a difference. Seniors who change their breakfast to protein-rich meals notice improvements within days. Better energy, fewer cravings, more stability on their feet, a sense of strength returning to their legs. It's almost like the body has been waiting for you to give it the right fuel. So, the next time you're about to reach for oatmeal, pause. Ask yourself, do I want to feed muscle loss or do I want to fight it? Do I want a quick sugar high or do I want strength, stability, and independence? Because independence at its core is tied to muscles, the ability to carry groceries, to walk to the park, to hug your grandchildren without fear of weakness. These are gifts you can preserve simply by choosing a different breakfast. Your body is not too old to change. Your muscles are not too far gone to rebuild. Every bite is an opportunity. Every breakfast is a chance to protect yourself from sarcopenia and reclaim strength. And it starts with replacing oatmeal with something that truly nourishes you. Because the truth is this, breakfast is not just the first meal of the day, it is the foundation of your future.